But as Politico.com reports tonight on the, quote, bloodbath at the RNC,
headlines calling it a, quote, bloodbath.
Be a bloodbath. Not only is it going to be a bloodbath, but after they leave New Hampshire, it's a bloodbath on her home turf. That's really tough. Trump has left a lot of corpses in his wake. I mean, we can count the bodies.
As part of the, quote, MAGA drive to take over Maricopa County. And the headline refers to it as an impending bloodbath.
Columnist Charles Blow has a new piece for the New York Times entitled A Biden Bloodbath.
2018 midterms, you can bet that they 100% are fearing a slaughter. In fact, the word bloodbath and massacre come up frequently.
The Republican Party will be destroyed. It's going to be a bloodbath.
So if you're keeping score, that's okay. But this makes any fake insurrection really almost feel real.
We're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars if I get elected. Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
So he says his bloodbath comment was referring to the auto industry. Now, I don't know if that's how y'all heard it, but that's not how it sounded to me.
Of course, that's not how it sounded to Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, everything, if you're Whoopi Goldberg, sounds racist, except for, of course, the Holocaust. She famously said the Holocaust was not racist. So if you're Whoopi, the actual slaughter of actual people based on race, well, that doesn't sound too racist at all. But the slaughter of an entire American auto industry, well, that probably is. Now, obviously, these are not intelligent people, man. But regardless of how intelligent they are or they aren't, I will tell you this. The American left has got a very, very strong hoax game.
Political violence that we've seen from Donald Trump for years, as you pointed out. It goes even farther back, right? This is the same guy who, after Nazis marched on Charlottesville and killed a woman, said there were very fine people on both sides.
This is why I say these people have game, man. They know that Donald Trump did not threaten a bloodbath. They know he wasn't even talking about an actual bloodbath. He was talking about American prosperity and the American auto industry. These people know this. You know it. I know it. They know it. They sound stupid because they are stupid. But here's why I say they've got game. Look how they're victimizing the hopeless viewers of MSNBC, man. They're bolstering one manufactured hoax with another even lazier manufactured hoax. Actually, one of their first manufactured hoax. And now it is finally paying off. The very fine people hoax. And just a reminder, guys, I know you know this, but that didn't actually happen. You know, Donald Trump, he may as well be the new Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra famously said, great Yankee, by the way, he said, I haven't said half the things I've said. But here's why this random a-hole on MSNBC is important. You know, this is not just some average lefty idiot. This guy works for the Joe Biden campaign. And this is what they feel that they've got to do to win. But obviously, you know, these are not serious people. We already know that. But it makes you wonder, guys, are there any serious people left in Washington?
Because he's even predicting a bloodbath. What does that mean? He's going to exact a bloodbath? There's something wrong here. How respectful I am of the American people and their goodness. But how much more do they have to see from him to understand that this isn't what our country is about? Praising Hitler, praising the right.
That probably makes it clear, but apparently there are not any serious people left in Washington. I mean, do you guys, you like how Nancy said that, you know, as she clutched her evil black heart, how respectful I am of the American people, she said, just before she essentially admitted that she thinks every last one of us are complete and total morons. Again, new Yogi. I haven't said half the things I've said. And speaking of saying things, I mean, can you believe that this is where we're at in the year 2024? Every time Donald Trump says that he didn't assault somebody, he's fined tens of millions of dollars. But Nancy Pelosi can go on communist news networks and claim that Donald Trump has been out praising Hitler and nothing happens. No ramifications. Again, this is what these people think that they've got to do to win, man. And just look at Dana Bash. She's either completely incompetent or completely complicit. I don't know which is worse. I mean, she knows that that's a lie. She knows that that is propaganda. She knows that it's dirty in every single way. And I'm sure that she now knows why it is that she doesn't have any real credibility left. You know, but I will say, in her defense, at least Dana Bash did at one time have credibility. I don't know what's worse. Let me know in the comments what you think is worse. Is it better to have once had credibility like she does, and now you're just a typical leftist hack? Or is it better to have always been Jim Acosta?
The Trump analysis, the Trump campaign was this is what the Biden campaign said in response to all of this. They said he wants another January 6th. The Trump campaign refuted that, said he was just talking about the auto industry and so on. They're crying foul over how this has been covered. But if you look at, Alice, if you look at the way he said this, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. Then he stops. That's going to be the least of it. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country.
And if you look at it in context, also where it says, talking about the auto industry and a 100% tariff on every car that's brought into this country, he's talking about the auto industry and the impact the Biden policies have on the auto industry.
You
and
don't
when
think he just meant the auto industry?
I believe
you
when he uses the term bloodbath, he is talking about this in an economic sense. And you look at the word bloodbath.
But he says that's going to be the least of it.
Means
it's going to be a bloodbath for the country.
We're talking about the other.
If I'm being honest, man, I almost feel bad for Jim Acosta. I mean, this is a ridiculous human. And he seems like he cannot actually believe that he's sitting there with someone who's not just nodding and clapping like a trained freaking SEAL and saying, yeah, Jim, you're right. He's a dangerous man. You tried to tell us all along. He's a threat. Of course she's calling him on it, man. You have the video, bro. Play the freaking video in its entirety for your audience. I mean, does the CNN audience really not wonder why Donald Trump says something on video, confesses to being a bloodthirsty wannabe dictator on video, and instead of showing it, Jim Acosta just dryly reads it to them on air while they all wonder, what he really could mean. Does he mean this? Does he mean that? I mean, how damn dumb does a person need to be to watch someone that damn dumb? I mean, I'm going to keep going, guys, but first, help the channel grow. Make sure to hit the like button so that more people can get this message.
Their definition of bloodbath is a severe loss and reversal. And this is used all of the time when we're talking about the stock market and the economy. And he's talking, look, I think this is a tremendous disservice to people.
I love you, Alice, but I mean...
and I love you too, Jim, but I think this is...
Let me tell you, I really think, because, was it out of context when you said very fine people on both sides?
I think it's finally happened, man. I think these people have finally completely damaged their own brains. Guys, this is why you don't get high on your own supply. And apparently, I think it's pretty clear that applies to propaganda as well. I mean, just listen to what Jim Acosta just asked there. He says, well, was it out of context when he said very fine people on both sides? Yeah, Jim, it was completely out of context. It was completely without context. That's exactly what it was. And it was your fault, man. You know that. You've seen it and I know you guys have all seen this, but they keep bringing it up. This is very fine people on both sides.
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group, excuse me, I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name. George Washington was a slave owner. Was George Washington a slave owner? So will George Washington now lose his status? Are we going to take down, are we going to take down statues to George Washington? How about Thomas Jefferson? What do you think of Thomas Jefferson? You like him? Okay, good. Are we going to take down the statue? Because he was a major slave owner. Now we're going to take down his statue. So you know what? It's fine. You're changing history. You're changing culture. And you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly. Now, in the other group also, you had some fine people, but you also had troublemakers, and you see them come with the black outfits and with the helmets and with the baseball bats. You had a lot of bad people in the other group too.
Yeah. So yeah, Jim, I wish you would have asked that question many, many years ago, but yes, it was completely out of context. And unfortunately, it was not an isolated thing.
Very fine people on both sides. Was it out of context when he said you got to fight like hell, you won't have a country anymore? Marie, was it out of context when he said stand back and stand by?
If I can finish what I'm saying.
Sure.
this is taken out of context. He's talking about the auto industry. He's talking about the electric vehicle mandates that the Biden administration is supporting and how that is going to devastate the auto industry. And he's basically sending the message to people across middle America, the United Auto Workers, the actual workers, not the head, but the workers realize the devastating...
Let's play this. What about when he called migrants animals? Let's watch that.
If I had prisons that were teeming with MS-13 and all sorts of people that they've got to take care of for the next 50 years, right? Young people, they're in jail for years, if you call them people. I don't know if you call them people. In some cases, they're not people, in my opinion. These are bad. These are animals.
Maria, I mean, I hear what Alice is saying, and you know, we have fiery discussions sometimes. We all respect each other at the end of the day. But to me, it's really a stretch to say, well, these things are out of context, or you know, it's just rhetoric. And so this is just it's so dangerous.
It is,
and it seems to be encouraging violence. And when you dehumanize migrants,
yes,
calling them animals,
that's exactly right, Jim.
It's dangerous.
And
asking you shall receive. Finally, Jim Acosta finds someone dumb enough to just say, you know, you're exactly right, Jim. But no, Jim, you're not right. It is not really a stretch to say that these things, like most things Trump, if not all things Trump, are taken out of context. And what is a stretch is for someone on the American free media to play a clip of a presidential candidate saying that violent, illegal, criminal gang members who are in prison for a very, very long time may be better referred to as animals. That is not a controversial statement, right? And it is not in any way reflective of anyone but the people he's talking about. That is not, as Jim put it, about migrants. That is just horrible, horrible, bad propaganda by Jim Acosta. But Jim Acosta knows this. But I wonder, why is he keeping up this nonsense? You know, at this point in his career, in his life, he must either really believe it, either that, or he's just so deep in that he just feels stuck. I mean, he's not doing it for the propaganda value anymore. He's smart enough to know that literally no one who hasn't already dedicated whatever's left of their brain to the whole vote blue no matter who type philosophy believes him. No one believes Jim Acosta. And honestly, the people that do believe him, those people may not even be dumb enough to actually believe Jim Acosta. But he keeps going. You know, they all keep going. They know how insane they sound. You know, I did a video a couple days ago saying I didn't think this scam was going to last for very long, but damn it, man, it has been a full court freaking press ever since.
So no, we're not taking it out of context, because the context is his history and his life. So I want to say to my, Latino friends, some of them who might be thinking of voting for Trump, when Trump talks about poisoning the blood of America, and he's talking about migrants, when he refers to them as animals, and he's talking about migrants, when he's referring to them as not people, as invaders, let me tell you, people who hate folks like that, they're not going to stop and ask you if you have a U.S. citizenship or a U.S. passport. They're going to shoot first and then ask questions. So I think he's putting a target on all of our backs.
The View, the last great hope of democracy, man. Always willing to do their part for the machine, man. I think they need to get together with our buddy Jim over on CNN, and they have to have a conversation about context. You know, Jim Acosta says, you know, it's really a stretch to say every time we talk about Trump that the context is missing. Well, this is why, I mean, Ana Navarro attempting to victimize Hispanic people and really thinks that she can get away with it because of her last name and her fake sounding accent. But she can't, because Hispanics are not stupid. None of us are stupid. No Americans are this stupid anymore, and she knows that they're not that stupid, which is why she doesn't even try anything clever. I mean, no clever nuance. She just goes right in for the full court scare. If you vote for Trump, and I know many of you are thinking about doing that, they're just going to shoot you. I mean, she's basically saying they're just going to shoot you. Don't say I didn't warn you. At least, honestly, at least she doesn't demean them by trying to be clever. I mean, Sunny Hostin, on the other hand, she really truly does believe that people are stupid enough to listen to her.
He's saying the quiet part out loud. If I am not elected, we are going to see January 6th again. And I think we need to be on guard to make sure that we preserve our democracy so that our country looks the way that it should look, like all of us. It's a diverse country. That's what America was built upon.
Listen to the fake fear in her voice, man. She is so, I mean, that woman is so incredibly full of it. She actually believes that people are dumb enough to believe that Donald Trump talking about saving the auto industry is calling for another January 6th, which she also believes that people are dumb enough to actually believe was a real insurrection. I mean, that's the double dipping again. They love double dipping their context-free Trump hoaxes, man. And again, these are not serious people. You know this, I know this, but the problem is there are too many people that don't know this. I mean, The View alone has got 1.2 million victims a day tuning in to just willingly be victimized. And man, these people must all be super ginned up right now. I mean, these poor people really do believe that anyone that voted for Donald Trump, that it's the end of everything. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote for bloodbaths and chaos and Putin and China and very fine people on both sides and whatever else they believe. I mean, I'm scared for those people. I mean, can you imagine how absolutely terrified the typical victim of these people must be right now? They got to be losing their minds. And really, it's not fair to those people. I mean, they have Trump derangement syndrome. These are sick, sick people that are being victimized by places like The View and CNN and MSNBC especially, but it might not be their fault. I mean, they have essentially been tortured. I mean, all day, every day for almost a decade now, these people have been tortured. And I think we're starting to see now that there's no turning back for them. You know, Donald Trump destroyed the liberal brain. And honestly, that makes him a true hero in my book. But anyway, that's just my take, guys. Let me know yours in the comments. And if you haven't already, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.